Last Sunday was Father Dom's last weekend. Father Dom had been with us for 3 years, and he was at all the masses last weekend. We had a beautiful fiesta, luau, on the Friday evening, then the weekend masses. And he told me afterwards it was the hardest weekend ever, because there's just so much emotion, so many tears, so much love, and it was just exhausting. And so he's going to take a little break, and then in August he'll be going to Rome for his new assignment. So we send him forth with lots of gratitude and love. Next weekend, we receive a new priest. Bishop Noonan is sending us Father Valère Filius. He is a priest at St. James Cathedral, and will be coming here beginning next weekend. So you'll meet Father Valère next weekend. Plan after Mass to come, and you can have some cake as well with Father Valère. And so he'll be coming next weekend. As long as I'm thinking of that, arrive 10 minutes before Mass starts. We have these beautiful videos. How many of y'all saw the video before Mass today? Awesome. And so which Mass is the children's Mass? All of them. All of them. Children are welcome. Children on board. We need that sign on our church. Children on board. All children are welcome. So come 10 minutes early, see that great video, and just relax, not be rushed. Enjoy that time together and learn a little bit about our faith. So anyhow, Father Valère will be here next weekend. And this weekend, you get me. Just get me. Actually, 3 years ago was my very first weekend with you. 3 years to the day. This is the very first Sunday I was with you. These readings I preached on. So it's been 3 years I've been with you. And 3 years ago, I preached on this, and I taught you a little song. It goes like this. Follow the way of the Lord. Follow the way of the Lord. Remember that? Follow, 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 follow. You can join in. Follow the way of the Lord. We had Vacation Bible School this week. 220 campers, elementary school children were here all week. Any of those campers present? Any of the campers here? They're all sleeping in. Okay, there's a couple. And we had 100, 150 helpers, middle schoolers, high schoolers helping them. Any helpers present? Helpers. Okay, helpers. You guys remember? Jesus gives us hope. Follow him. Remember that? Jesus gives us courage. Follow him. Jesus gives us direction. Follow him. Jesus gives us love. Follow him. All the kids learning that is wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful week together. Follow him. But how exactly do you follow Jesus? How exactly do you make that step from not following Jesus to following Jesus? We celebrate this weekend Independence Day, the 4th of July. That 1776, over 200 years ago, on the 4th of July, our founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence. They signed this document saying they would be independent from Britain. This was the original Brexit. And it's not original to me. But they signed the Declaration of Independence. It took years of the Revolutionary War before the hostilities ended, and even more time to sign a peace treaty, and more time to establish the country as we know it today. But that was the beginning, that Declaration of Independence, of a new nation. In the Declaration of Independence, they wrote, in part, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. All men are created equal. And they are endowed by their Creator, it's not their own doing, but by their Creator, with certain inalienable rights. And among these are life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. All men are created equal. That's what our nation stands for. That's what war has been fought about. That men and women have equal dignity, not by their own doing, but by God, who created them. It's in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal. That citizens and refugees have the same dignity given by God. That straights and gays have the same dignity given by God. That Christians and Muslims, same dignity, equal, given by God. And no one can take that away, because it's given by God. All men are created equal. It's in our Declaration of Independence. And war has been fought for this. We value our liberty, and we fight for others to share this. But how to follow Jesus in this? How to make that step from not following to following the Lord? Well, I'm going to tell you, and you're not going to like it. At least your American part of you won't like it. The American part, we value independence, our freedoms. We declare our independence. But to follow Jesus is just the opposite. Just the opposite. Reverend John Yope said, declare not your independence, but declare your dependence. To follow Jesus, you declare your dependence on God. Ignatius of Loyola was a soldier in the 16th century. He fought for Spain, the Spanish king, against the French, and he was wounded in battle. His leg was broken by a cannonball. Recuperating for months, he was bored, reading books on the saints, he had this conversion experience and found peace and joy, thinking about the things of God and not worrying about how good he looked or the attentions of certain ladies. And so he changed his life. When his leg was healed and he's able to travel, he got on a donkey, not on a big horse, but on a donkey, and he traveled to a village of Montserrat. And there at the altar of Our Lady of Montserrat, he held an all-night vigil. And like the knights of old, he knelt before the altar and he laid his sword down at the altar, pledging allegiance not to a king, but to the King of Kings. Kneeling all night before that altar, he got up that morning and left his sword. He left behind his soldier clothes, his fancy clothes, put on the simple clothes of a beggar, and got on his donkey, continued his way to a new life. Much more to be done, but that was the step from not following Jesus to following Jesus for St. Ignatius of Loyola. And he went on to found the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuits. But that was the moment when he followed Jesus. Following Jesus is declaring your dependence on God. To stop trying to figure out your own life and do it your way and asking God for a little bit of help occasionally, but giving him your life. Jesus came to give you life. Jesus said, I came that they might have life and life in abundance. And that we might have life, he gave his own life to save us from sin and death. He gave us his own life on the cross. Jesus came not to improve your life. Jesus came not to help you with your life. Jesus came not to supplement your life or even to protect your life. He said, I came that they might have life and abundant life. Life in abundance. That peace, that joy, that is great to be alive every day. Every day. Jesus came that you might have life, his life. Which means, apart from Jesus, all you have is death. Sin and death. Now, Orlando has been ground zero for death since a month ago. The shootings, 50 were killed, 49 victims, and the shooter himself. Watch the news. Millions are suffering from war. Hundreds of millions in quiet, extreme poverty, dying, death. But our own culture right here, a common form of death, a living death, is addiction. Now, you may be addicted to the usual things of drinking or drugs or gambling. You can also be addicted to watching TV, eating too much food. You can be addicted to sex and pornography. You could be addicted to prescription pills and spending, shopping. You know you're addicted when you do this behavior more and more, even though it makes you feel worse and worse. You're like a slave, where your will is taken over by another. You can't stop. And the things that you hold most dear, your family, your livelihood, providing, is taking a second seat to this living death. But Jesus came that you might have life, and life in abundance. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. Once a year as a nation, we celebrate that Declaration of Independence, that all are created equal, given equal dignity by God. Every Sunday, we come before the Lord, we kneel before his altar to declare our dependence on God. To take that step from not following Jesus to following Jesus. So stop trying to be self-sufficient. It's killing you, and it's killing those you love. But kneel before God, right here. Kneel before his altar. Lay down your life to him. And receive from his altar the gift of his life. And then go in peace to follow the way of the Lord.